get one of those ideas that you say, should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? And then you say, should I film it? Well, I probably shouldn't film it. But in our effort to entertain the quarantined, I'm going to film it. Now, before I even tell you what I'm doing, I do not recommend this. There'll be some safety issues involved, but I'm not concerned for myself because I'm not. But don't do it. Don't do what I'm doing. But you ever see what a bandsaw box is? It's basically a series of cuts, hollowing out whatever it may be, and making a box out of it. You've seen them out of big logs and just solid pieces of wood. Real cool little project. So I was sitting there playing with this maple stick here, which is dry as a fart. I've had it probably for a couple of years on the shelf, and I cut a little piece off, and I says to myself, you think you can make a bandsaw box out of this, maybe for one of Willow's dolls? And I said, we can try. So that's what we're going to do. So instead of me trying to explain to you what a bandsaw box is, I'm just going to take you through step by step, and we'll make a teeny tiny bandsaw box. Yeah. Now I don't know what the properties are for bark, but if you cut it the right time of year, when the bark really sticks to the wood, but maple's always pretty good with that, and as you can see, that bark is tight, very tight, and that wood is very dry, so I feel confident that I can keep the bark on it. So that's why I'm going to do it. But right off the bat, looking at it, and there's a little bad spot on the bottom here, so that's going to be the bottom that I'm going to cut off. And let me bring you down here. A little bit of bark roughness on it there. So I'm going to take this line here, and this is going to be my first cut, and this is actually going to be a throwaway piece to give it a flat surface to start with. Alright, so let's cut that off. So there we've got our little flat bottom piece here. So now I'm going to go to what would be the back side. I'm just going to take about a 1/4 inch slice off the back, and that's going to be put aside, and it's going to be glued back onto that at the end. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to take one slice off the back side. Got my slice here. I'm going to put that back together the way it should go. I'm just going to put one pencil line across there so that I can join that up again, the right sides in the right way. I'm going to take a cut like so, and I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to go all the way around my piece of wood here. That. See that? And I'm going to have one entry cut right in here like that. It's going to sneak in the bottom, and then we're going to glue that piece back together. I'm keeping constant pressure on that at all times. Just push that out. There we go. First lesson learned. When you're coming in on the bottom, I came in on an angle, and so now it wants to skid down, and it's going to be a hard time clamping and gluing that. So I just called that one practice. We're back to square one with another one. Alright, and this time I came from the bottom. What side? So I can't even see what side. It's so perfect. This side, I came straight up. So now it wants to just sit normally like that. I know it's hard to see. Alright, so that cheater cut is straight up, and that way it stays flat. Whereas the other one, I snuck it in on an angle, and it kept wanting to skid up. So anyway, we're back. So this is where we're at. So now we're going to take that little center piece here. I'm going to set that out of the way for now. I'm going to take that little center piece, and we're going to actually go ahead and we're going to take slivers off of both sides. Alright, same thing. We're just going to take the little slices off the front and the back side of the inside. There's our sides. We're going to leave them alone. We're going to take our centerpiece here and we're going to cut that right across like so. And then we're just going to come down like that. Like that. I'm just going to give that's the drawer. So I may just go square with those. Like that. That is it for the scroll side. Now I'm going to take my glue. I'm going to get a little brush, give it a little toothpick, and I'm going to glue that little cut together. Then I'm going to glue the back on it, right? And then the two front and back of the inside drawer. So I'll show you. Now, if you look at this one here, you can see my little bottom cut. I gotta pull that apart just so you can even see that cut. See that? Alright. So I'm just gonna pry that apart very lightly and just get some little bit. It doesn't hardly even needs glue, but I'm gonna try and get some glue in there. There we go. I think I'll put a little bit just on the inside. Just a little bit of glue, alright? But that's what I meant about that other one with the angle cut. That one has that pressure to hold it together, so that doesn't even have to be clamped with the glue in there. So that's going to set up. But now we've got the back side. Remember we put lines on there. We just line up the lines. So I'm going to put glue all on there. I've got a little wet paper towel here too, so that I can wipe it off and keep it nice and clean. So that when that's dry, you won't even see that was cut. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little spring clamp on there, and that's pretty much where it is. You see that? Hard to see the joint. Okay, so that goes aside to dry. Now our center little drawer, we're going to line up our X's again. So X and X, so we'll do this side. Alright. Do the other side. Put our sides like that. So we got our lines on there. Kind of a silly little project, but it's also a nice little teaching demonstration too, I suppose. But like I said, this is just going to go in probably go in a dollhouse for for Willow. So. Alright. And that's our drawer. It's the same thing. I'm just going to put a little clamp on here. Alright, just going to let that dry up. So there's our two things drying. And now I got to think of what I'm going to use for a little pull knob for the drawer. You're going to find just the perfect little stone to glue on for a handle. Doesn't have to be much. Here it is. I'm going to put needle nose pliers on it, and I'm going to try and hold it against the belt sander. Give it a little flat bottom. This one's all stuck together. Just gonna soften up all the edges. Make sure I get off all these some pencil lines on there. Pretty good. Like I said, that bark's nice and tight. It's good. Take this one off. Same thing. Just gonna go around and sand it all nice and smooth. And we'll come back. There's my little drawer. Isn't that cute? Now I'm going to oil the whole thing, but before I do that I want to glue my little stone on the front so I can put some oil on that stone too and give it some color. So just going to mark that centered somewhat. Alright, a little bit of mineral oil. And that's a wrap. Isn't that cute? Cute little thing. Let's open her up. You asked me to bring you in what I do for fun at night, and this is what I do for fun at night. I play in my workshop. So anyway, fun little project. That'll find its home in a little dollhouse somewhere, and that's it for this one. That's kind of fun. See you in the next one.